What is up, you wild and crazy guys? Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be talking about masks, protests in masks, freedom in masks. I mean, just tons of things, mostly just relating to masks. Hey, welcome to the video. Okay, this is video number 2. Congratulations, you made it. So first off, we want to talk about, just so you guys know, okay, cheese is gonna happen. Okay, as we mentioned in the first video, we want to talk about it. It's gonna be a thing.
There will be a cheese tasting.
Yes, we are gonna do a cheese tasting. I mean, there's so many brands of cheese.
We'll have to go to the store and we'll have to compare notes. I'll FaceTime you, you FaceTime me, or whatever we do.
Boom.
We'll figure it out.
I might even live stream the cheese.
The cheese finding.
Like, look, it's me. Look here, I'm picking up the cheese at the store. So everyone knows. We want to give a shout out to Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you for commenting. Really liked your comment. It was a good question. He just talked about, like, in essence, is a 4-year degree, like going to a college or a university, better than or equal to, or really as important as maybe going to a trade school or an apprenticeship? We have talked about that. It's a good question. We do want to talk about it here on the show. We're not exactly sure when, but it's coming. It's going to happen.
I've been going to college for many, many years. It might have been helpful.
Yeah, no, I went to college for 4 years, and then I got a certificate, and I'm working at a job that uses my certificate. So, I mean, I'm just saying. But today, specifically, we want to talk about some things that we hinted on before, specifically using the cloth mask, as it pertains to coronavirus and, chat/protests
and so,
in general.
With the cloth mask, let me tell you what, I did order a couple today.
Okay.
My job is probably going to require them come the time when students return to classes, but they're pretty sweet. If I have a moment, I'll make sure to go grab a picture and show you exactly what they look like. I totally forgot that I bought these, but I'll.
Does it have a design? Is that why they're cool?
Oh yeah, they have a design, and that is why they're cool. It's a total nerd design, but.
All right, I'm down. I'm just ready for them to be like red shirts, like, the Star Trek red shirts, and it's like, yep, you're dying. Yep, you're gonna get it. Yep.
See that? That was totally uncalled for. You're gonna die now.
Yep, that's it. You're dead. You're a red shirt now.
Oh man.
Red mask. But yeah, so we wanted to revisit the mask thing again. I'm glad you bought some. Right now, and again, where I live in Florida, it's mandatory to wear cloth masks everywhere. So, like, even I went to the store today they were asking people to wear masks. Everyone had masks on. Most people had masks on, not everybody. But it's been interesting. The reason I wanted to bring it up, or at least one of the reasons me and Saul were talking about it, was they're supposed to help to like mute the transmission of the disease, but it seems like that the disease can only be caught in certain places, right? Like Trump rallies, church, and the bar. Like, not exactly connected.
I think yes, that's kind of how it's feeling, but at the same time, I don't hear a ton of people coming out right and saying it that way, but those who have the loudest voices are definitely making it feel that way.
Well, yeah. Well, I've seen, and I'll see if I can find some, blurry photographic evidence. But I've seen a lot of like news stations promote like 100-person protests, and they're not carriers, or they're not carriers, but they're safe when it comes to COVID-19. Or I've seen I've seen some news agencies put out that protesting is good for COVID-19. So
Really?
do you think yeah, like they're like, well, we need these protests. They have to happen. I understand why they have to happen when it comes to the case of um, police brutality and the meaning of Black lives and so on. But is that the one you bought?
Oh, oh. So, viewers, you can't see it yet, but I'm about to show you right now.
Oh, okay, no, I was about to say, oh gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me just get it out of this mode. Let me just show you real quick. Everybody take a look
See,
at
I already
this.
I got the Rona.
Face
That's
mask of
hilarious.
wellness.
That's hilarious.
Legendary.
It's legendary.
Armor 25, weight 1, value 2020.
You can sell them for quite a bit. Jeez.
Increase health of others by 20 points.
That's
Ensure
hilarious.
100% entrance allowed to all stores.
And
If
it's
a-
good. It's also good for thieving.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it
Cover your face
is.
up. There you go, Skyrim. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's freaking
I'm
awesome.
excited. I'm wearing it at work, so it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, so we were talking about just the protest, and yeah, I'll have to see if I can find some photographic evidence where they said it was good for coronavirus. Now, do you think it's because of like a herd immunity, like the more people that either catch it or around
That
it,
that might be their
you know?
justification, but that's the only one that would make sense. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what other ways are you going to help this virus go away other than catching it? And catching it seems like it's going to happen if you're in big groups like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's but then it also, like, why do we have to wear masks if we are going for a huge or a herd immunity thing? Like, I'm not saying go and like cough on everybody, but if the protesters now, don't get me wrong, the protesters, a lot of them do wear masks. I don't know if all of them do, but I mean, I've seen several videos where many of them are wearing masks. But I mean, they're rubbing up on each other, sweating this and that. I mean, there's no way that it's not being transmuted in some way.
and if you look at the numbers of cases, I mean, they are kind of spiking in relevance to when that started and
Right.
cases 2 weeks later, roughly, which is roughly the incubation period. We say 14 days. Some people are earlier,
Right.
some people are a little later, but we've just passed that time frame. Over the last 4 or 5 days, you see the spike. And now people
Yeah.
are like, oh, it's because people aren't listening to social distancing. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you go out and not being conservative with your social distancing while you're still protesting.
Right. Now, and there have been protests that have been better at it. Like I've seen some videos with like protests, like them kneeling outside of like city halls. I think there was one that was here in Orlando that they did that, and they were all 6 feet apart. Which, so that I totally understand, but it's these again, from what we see in the media, these big, either riots or big protests, and it's just big clumps and groups of people that are just moving around from place to place. There, I mean, cloth mask isn't going to help with that, and a lot of them aren't wearing the cloth mask. They're wearing like a bandana, or like a one of the, like, not the ski mask, but like I've seen some of those real thin. I don't know what I would call it. I don't know.
They're kind of like a face guard, like you wear in winter,
Yeah, yeah,
a small, like a really thin one. I know what you're talking about, but I do think that it helps in the case
hmm
of you aren't transmitting as much like particles from your breath or receiving as many particles into your. We're talking about things that are very small, like or small things still get through. The virus could still get through. If it was just the
hmm
virus, it would pass through. But I think what the research is showing is that the virus needs a medium to be attached to make it into
get where it needs to be.
get into your lungs or for it to be an infectious to you. But
hmm
the hope is, I think, really is that that medium is being blocked. I mean, the virus could still pass through. We all know that. Like, was it N95 mask is the only thing, or a higher grade?
Yeah, it's an actual respirator. You need an actual respirator with a filter,
Yeah.
and that would block it out. But then we'd all be carrying around like gas masks or relative gas masks.
I mean, I got one in the back somewhere, but
Well, yeah, we definitely could, but again, that throws out the whole herd immunity thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I
I'm not.
am not an expert.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just like. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to make sense of what we're being told. Like, there are some places that are like, wearing a mask is stupid, or there's, I don't know places, but at least people, wearing a mask is stupid, cuts off my airway, it's harder to breathe, all that stuff. Which I think that's bogus.
Well,
Like, I'm a
to
big fat guy, and if I can breathe
some,
with a mask on, we're probably good.
I feel that some people might be creating masks or wearing masks improperly, and it will cause
Mm-hmm.
problems. Like if you wear one that's really tight, you're gonna feel like you can't breathe. I've also heard that people are talking about people getting like rashes. I'm like, how tight are you wearing these things?
Yeah,
If you've got a rash, I mean, it better be a respirator because like a respirator will give you a rash if you didn't shave and you put it on. But
yeah. If you already have or if it's moving around a lot,
yeah,
or
I
if you're
mean,
allergic to it, if you're allergic to whatever the material is.
yeah. So you got to be. I think you got to be kind of smart about how you're utilizing the tools that you have, because even
Well, yeah,
tools that are for good use, you properly used, can hurt you, aka guns or other
true.
things,
Well, do you think,
medication. You know.
and like I guess the broader, it's not just about sickness, but like the broader question people have had or people have mentioned is that this is a fundamental, or this is a beginning of the like taking away fundamental freedoms. Does that make sense? Like, if they're making
Yeah.
us wear masks now, even though we don't want to, what else are they going to make us not do
Well, so
or
here's the
make
thing:
us do?
is that who's making people do it? It's an order by their governors usually, or
Yeah.
order of their city or county or whoever.
Mhm.
Well, for example, where I live, it's not mandated to wear. It's highly encouraged.
Mhm.
Some businesses might not allow you there to enter without one,
Mhm.
and I get that, but that's their choice. So if a
Yeah.
lot of businesses were doing it, then you know how you solve that problem. You don't give them their business.
Yeah. No,
If you feel
I've
that
seen
that's the
that.
case, if you feel that that's the case, but there
Well,
are
the same people that would complain about like Christian bakers not having to make a gay cake are also complaining about not being able to go to a store because they don't want to have to wear a mask. And that's just stupid. I mean, that's just hypocrisy. If we don't want the person to make a cake, then we need to wear a mask. Like, it's their business. That's just it.
yeah, it's their business.
Yeah.
It's planted in. They own it. They have the right to do how they please, and it's not discrimination.
No.
It's a right of choice too. It's that separation of like, where do you draw a line? Well, if
Mhm.
if it straight up was like, if it I here's the thing. If you are gonna get married, and it's gonna be a gay marriage, would I have a problem making a cake that was no different than the topper and the names being written on it? Or, you know what I mean? Like, my cake didn't even have my name on it, or my
Yeah.
wife's name, or even the topper. It was just a
Mhm.
very nice looking cake. So,
Mhm.
if it's just going to look like any other thing I would produce, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Yeah.
Now, if it's like, hey, let's put some things on there, some like maybe some, let's go as far as like super out there sexual inappropriate
Yeah.
things. I mean, even for a normal couple, I'd be like, "Pff, get out of here."
Yeah. No.
A traditional couple,
Yeah.
we'll say that. I say normal because it's normal to me, but traditional as it's stated. But
Yeah.
it's kind of that same realm. So, yeah, the whole mask thing.
Yeah.
I really think that people should be smart about it. Where I live currently, like, there's like a case every 3 days.
Mhm.
So Do I feel I should be wearing one? No. But as that number rises and summer comes on and tourists pass through, that's kind of why I've purchased some.
Start thinking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel that it's important. So, to each their own. I feel like if you think it's that necessary to have, that you should incentivize instead of mandate things like this. So,
Okay.
it's kind of like tax law. People don't realize it. Like 90% of the tax law is all about incentives.
Right. Right.
It's they don't force anybody to do 90% of the tax law because we want to incentivize and create habits with
Mhm.
money. So,
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with the mat, like I don't have a problem wearing a mask. I mean, I don't have a problem, just trying to help people out because that's what it comes down to is trying to help, um, not spread the disease and so on. My biggest thing is why has this become political? Like, because it really has, like,
it's
again,
because I
big
feel
protests.
as a
Yeah.
nation we do not have appreciation for our own society. When you think of
Okay.
it in that aspect, like why did it work so well? Why has New Zealand got no cases? Because they all hunkered down together as one. They were unified.
Hmm.
And because we could believe we could do it. Now, will the United States get to that point? I think people can. They just don't want to. Dude, we have so much freedom. And I'll be honest, I feel Americans kind of have a natural arrogance to themselves. I'm one of them.
No, I can agree with that. There are times. I mean, this is going to sound super controversial. I'm not saying that. Never mind. I'm not going to say it that way anyway. But, um, but I think there are times when we could help, but we do have a natural government rebellion side. Like, well, the government said we should do this. Could be helpful, but nah. Like,
And that is part of the great American experiment.
right.
So,
Um,
but yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
it's a difficult topic because I want to be able to wear a mask, but I want to still be able to go outside. And it's coming down to that even if you wear a mask, you still might catch it anyway. So it's I don't know. I just don't know who to believe. Like you watch the media, and again, you can't catch it at a 100-man protest, but you can catch it at a Trump rally.
yeah,
Ah, like really?
yeah, it's a tough one. Anything else you want to hit on that?
No, I think we've beat that particular dead horse enough.
Yeah. So, if anybody else has any thoughts, feelings, want to comment on this, get your 2 cents in.
If
Share
there, I mean,
share a legitimate resource, please. Help us out
right?
here. Like
Um,
that'd be great.
and then if there are any experts out there, I mean, there are experts out there. If there are any experts listening, I'm talking to you. Uh, feel free to comment. Let us know. Um, I will say, talking about experts, okay, we want actual experts, not internet experts. Actual experts.
So at the
I
very
understand that if
least,
we
go
post,
out and quote an expert.
yeah, at the very least, we don't need Facebook experts because I know when people post stuff on Facebook, it becomes, you become instantaneously the smartest person on earth. But we don't need that. We want actual sources. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Well, Ben, I think that's all we got for today, my friend.
All right, man. I think that
Follow
was good.
us, like us. If you don't like us, that's okay. But
That's fine.
share it anyways because it'll be controversial and great to talk about.
Yeah, there you go. Tell your friends, look at these freaking idiots. Like, like I don't know. That's fine.
This
Don't
guy's
don't
moron.
watch them by watching us if you would mind.
Yeah.
What do you think we should talk about next time? Do you think? Do you have like any particular
Mm,
ideas? Should we hit on? So Taylor again came up with a good idea. Do you think mask and
yes.
protest is over and we should just go to schools or?
I think we talk about schools. I think we talk about schools because I think it also ties into a topic I really want to talk about, which is privilege and how people
Ooh.
feel about privilege and where it's going and what it actually
Yeah.
means and how I feel about
My
it.
privilege.
No, see,
No, just oh no,
privilege,
not white privilege, just
privilege,
privilege in general.
privilege, in my belief, is not about race.
Oh, okay.
Privilege is about
I think that'll be interesting.
how your ancestry set you up.
Ooh, I see what you're saying.
But
Okay.
it also is about how you react to certain situations you're in. But I do not think this far in history, this far forward, is as much about race as it is about choices. And so I want to get into that. So
Yeah, I hear that. That's going to be a good one. I think we'll definitely hit on those the next time. But
yes.
again, like, share, favorite, tell your mother, your brother, everybody. And
All right.
yeah,
We'll see y'all next time.
peace.